Oh, hello, friends. I'm Dan1982 here, Convention Live on this Nostalgia Tuesday. Not on my Twitch channel tonight. Usually, my Twitch is my main. I do a lot of stuff on Twitch. I've got a little over 1,000 people on Twitch following me there. But that's like my big hype channel, my first-person shooters and my battle royales, my PUBG games, all that kind of stuff. When I slow things down a bit, I try and keep it to my Facebook channel or my my YouTube channel. So tonight it's a good, I joined a group on Facebook called Outer Haven, and we're all like Metal Gear Solid fans. Like, I miss this series so much. I'm gonna start playing it. I know this game wouldn't fly on Twitch just because of the kind of audience that I have on my Twitch channel, but I don't stream a lot on Facebook Gaming or on YouTube, so I do have some people that follow me on both there. So I figured I'll just play this game again anyway. I want to replay it. And there's JJ Saxton. And replayed here on PlayStation, on my YouTube, my Facebook Gaming channel. A bit more chill, more laid back, where we can all just enjoy a good gameplay. So Metal Gear Solid, for anybody who's not aware of what Metal Gear Solid is, once I get this, my screen's a little jacked up back here. Oh well, and now the sign's all coming off on me. Ugh. It is it was made by Hideo Kojima, I guess you'd call him, and Konami. Hideo Kojima is the creator of the game. It's made with Konami. They're the ones who published it. This game series has spanned since like late 80s, early 90s, and it is just a very in-depth storyline with it's the same character, same storyline. They actually age as the years go on, but there's prequels and whatnot. So this game tonight that I'm going to play is called Metal Gear Solid 3, and actually it was like, if you count the two Nintendo games, there's the two Nintendo games, the original PlayStation game Metal Gear Solid, which I got hooked on, and then Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, and then Metal Gear Solid 3, which came out on PlayStation 2. But it's actually the prequel. This is what starts everything. So as far as and like Star Wars does, right? And the ones that came out in the 80s were episode, 6. And then later on episode 1 came out. This is like episode 1, even though it came out later. So this is where actually it all starts. And in my opinion, it's my favorite of the series. Poser Boy's going to start a YouTube channel for skating, and I just kept this one. All right, well, no problem, buddy. So this is where it all starts. Really amazing game. It's just the best of everything in this game. It's fighting, but it's more sneaking around, being stealthy because you're like behind enemy lines. It takes place during the Cold War. And if you had played the original games up until this one, you get reintroduced to the characters, some old characters, and how they came to be. If it's your first time seeing it, this is the beginning. This is where it all came in. It's tactical espionage action game. And I'm so excited to play this game. So excited to play it with you. We're gonna do a new game, and I love Metal Gear Solid 3. We'll play it on normal because I haven't played in ages. How do you organize a space party?
After the end of World War II,
JJ, how do you organize a
the
space
world
party?
was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
His voice is always so great. New planet. Wah. I get it, JJ. Really. That's a bad joke.
Altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
Is that better?
All right. You ready to go?
Drop
I
zone
was
still
that.
showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask.
Where's this guy?
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
You don't call Snake a panty waist.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization
May the fourth
complete.
be with you, poser
Checking
boy.
oxygen
Yes,
supply.
May the fourth.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
If anyone ever plays Smash Brothers
This
on
is
Nintendo
one
Wii,
for the history books.
Snake is a character in that
World's
as well.
first Halo jump.
And Wreck-It Ralph. has
10
an Easter
seconds to
egg
drop
about
off. Stand
Solid
by.
Snake as well.
Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop-off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Oh, Frosty sent me something.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous mission.
Virtual mission.
No, the Virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same.
The Verisum.
On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid.
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships
Hey,
carrying
beautiful,
missiles
how are you? My
continued on
girlfriend's in
course
chat.
towards Cuba.
On the Facebook
US and
page.
Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
That was Sokolov.
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility
guy's
and forced
voice
to
is,
continue working
David
on the
Hayter.
weapon in question under KGB
Peter Snake's
supervision.
voice.
What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
So
Is
again,
Sokolov still
here,
in
if
the
anyone's played the
facility?
No,
Metal Gear
according
Solid
to our
before this
intelligence,
game,
he's in Selino
we know
Yat,
there's talking about Metal Gear,
placed in the
Metal Gear,
mountains about 3 miles
which
to the west.
is,
It's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
like a tank but with legs, right, and
Virgin
arms,
Cliffs.
and can shoot
Nice name for a
nukes
virtuous
right from its
mission.
shoulder.
They moved him
But
there
this is a
just
prequel
recently.
game, so this is all leading up to
Why?
the creation of Metal Gear and
Apparently,
Fox
they're
Sound and
conducting a
Fox
field test
Die
of
and
the
all
weapon,
that good
but
stuff,
it's our
and then
best
eventually
chance
Diamond
to get him
Dogs.
back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
So we have to go in here and stop. I'm gonna skip ahead. So we pretty much have to go in there, get in contact with the CIA. Get this guy out of here. And I'm reuniting with my old mentor, my old big boss. He's a legendary soldier.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
It's the same one Batman uses.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
Batman Dark Knight.
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast.
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Bag. Very dramatic.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No. There's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Okay. So there's another Easter egg in so Hideo Kojima, the guy who invented this series, loads these games with Easter eggs. And one of the there it is. One of the things is if you use your tranquilizer gun the entire game and not kill a single soldier and collect their dog tags, you unlock different stuff in the game. I did that when I played this back in the 90s. on the other PlayStation, so I'm gonna try and do that again this time around. Let's get my bearings here. And so. Let's see my bearings here. Yes. Yep, plain snake here. Yes, yes. My son knows this one. So yeah, my son is aware of my obsession with this game series. And yeah, in this one, if you eat the wrong kind of food, you actually have to go into your character viewer mode, which I don't have right now. It's not there. And you spin yourself around, and then when you come out of the viewer mode, he throws it. Oh, and there's a snake. Let's do the snake bee. For a minute. Oh, no, wrong button. What's the action button on this darn thing? Ah, triangle. And the top right tells you your camouflage. How well hidden you are. We got it.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger-happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That comes in handy
That's
later
the
on.
one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
Don't on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in
Revival
your
pill
hands.
comes in handy because
A real one-man
the
army.
game seems like, easy peasy
Relax.
going there, but
There's a
then it
support team
branches
ready
off
to
into
back you
this
up over the radio.
in-depth,
Who?
catastrophic,
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost
crazy
importance.
story.
The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet
So you talk to paramedic, and she tells you about all of her qualifications, and he's all like blah blah blah. He gives her mission data. She gives you her signal. Legendary soldier, the boss. And there she is. That's the boss. 5 days, 22. 5 years, 22 days, and 8 hours to say last saw each other. And that's how good she is. She's telling Snake how much he's lost weight and whatnot just by the sound of his voice. Why disappear on me all of a sudden? I was on top secret mission. Didn't need me. She told me everything he knows. Etc. 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 Let's skip through the bit. Let's skip through this. Let's get going. Story's amazing, but that's the story.
Try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Oh yeah, close quarter combats. Grabbing, tackling, punching, kicking. So Leahy just talked on the radio. Boss
Commencing virtuous mission now.
was his mentor. Comes in handy and not too far away. So if you can see the top right, that's my camouflage. When I duck down low, I'm at 8% camouflaged. If I'm crouching, or if I'm staying at 15, crouching at 45. So that's pretty important too, because it tells you how other enemies will find you. What's we have over here? We got sonar, motion detector, that uses battery power, 8P sensor, fake death pill, and my binoculars. And there's a microphone here. You use it later on. There's a sniper battle. You go in later on. You can use that for the sniper battle if you want to. How do I? Ah, yes, there it is. Get my wits about me again. Whoopsie. Jump. Damn, it's on the same line. I can give it a little lower, I guess. We'll do that. What's that mix? How's that sound? Snake. Can I tranquilize the snake? Here's the snake in a cage, which I can throw people later on. Alright, let's do that. There we go. That's what we got. Virtuous mission. No problem, thank you. And more, if anybody wants me to play this game, that knows me from Fortnite. This time, I play Fortnite. I crouch the entire map. I hide. Bushes. crocs out here. Gators, I'm sorry. No, crocodiles, that's right. No, gators, it doesn't matter. Mac will tell me 1 second what I'm dealing with here. Missed it. Ah. Right there. Oh my gosh. Another one. Right in the town water. There we go. Ooh, there's a beehive up there too. There's a queen from that. I think I'm back here later on. I can't remember. Just in case. Let's see. Get this thing. Oh, there's a visual away. I'm gonna go get that honey. There's a queen and the nest. Excellent. I could use those things. Get in the water. There's a snake over there. Let's go this way.
Major, I've spotted 2
Aaron, shoot, wait, how's it going, Aaron?
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47